Hi everybody, Cynthia here. I am back with my 13 Haunted Projects of Halloween series. Today we're on number 3, and I am using these Tootsie Pops. You could use any kind of lollipop you want. If you use a thinner lollipop, you'll have to glue the holders closer, and I'll show you what I mean when we get started. I'm using 1/4 inch gingham black and white ribbon I purchased from the Paper Mart. I used 2 different die sets today from Michael's, and I got these last year on clearance. I got them like 80% off. And I used the Spooky Sweets, and I just cut my S off because I wanted to add my lollipop on the side, and then I can always just use Spooky Sweets and, you know, just add the S back in. So I used those 2 stamps, and then I used this one with the crow, the skull, and the pumpkin. And then I used this die that I purchased a while back from Amazon. Now, I lost this one in here. You can see it's missing. A lot of times I have so much stuff on my desk, it ends up in the trash by accident because my trash can's down there. So luckily I went to my mom and dad's last weekend, and she has the same die set. So I used hers. So I'm going to give you the measurements of it then. But I used 2 different dies to create this. And these are how my Lollipop, Tootsie Pop holders turned out. And I made them into little tombstones. So I did 2 of these, and then 2 of the Spooky Sweet, because I'm actually going to be selling these at my craft show that I have coming up in October. And I'm going to be putting them in a large basket and probably selling them for 50 cents or $1 a piece. I'm not really sure. I mean, you guys tell me what you think. But I was looking at the tombstone embellishments we made in a previous Halloween series video, and I thought, oh my gosh, these would be so cute as lollipop holders. And lollipop holders have been around forever. I think they actually have die sets out just for a lollipop holder. There's actually a bunch of different lollipop holder dies where you could actually, there's a window where you could see the lollipop. But I just wanted to use these to make little tombstone ones. So this is what we're going to create today. I'm going to set these little guys aside. And I wanted to keep them kind of simple because, you know, they're just lollipop holders, and I didn't want to put too much into it because I'm not charging a whole lot for it. But what you're going to need is 2 of the 3rd size in, which is this one. And that measures, let me get my ruler out. And I will post a link below to this die set that I purchased. This measures 3 1/4 inches high. So, and you could pretty much use any die you want, any die to create a lollipop holder. You just have to score it on the bottom and attach the 2 together. If you don't have this particular die set, it's just giving you inspiration on how to create yours. So 3 3/4 inches high, and then the next size I used was 1 size down below from that, which I had to borrow my mom's, and that one measures 3 inches high. So you'll need 2 of the 3-inch high and 2 of the 3, is it 3 3/4? Yes, 3 3/4 inches high. But like I said, I will, as long as they still have these for sale, I will post a link below to the ones I got. And let me just stick these back in here before I lose any more. I was very lucky my mom has the same die set, so I was able to create these. Alright, so I'm going to get out my scoreboard, and we will get started. I also used, I have my little stamp already stamped out and colored, and then I just put pop dimensional tape on the back. And I also used some Distress ink, black soot from Tim Holtz. We'll be using that. So I'm going to set my 2 gray pieces aside, and I'm going to line this up in my scoreboard, and I'm going to score it at 3 inches. And that's basically a score line straight across from these 2 points here, and I'll fold it so you could see what I mean. Okay, line the other one up and then do the same thing. Score it at the, just want to make sure this is really lined up good, 3-inch mark. And then you don't need your scoreboard anymore. And I'm going to fold on my score line, make a crease. Okay, so before we attach these, I'm going to go ahead and create my little cracks on my tombstones. And let me get my scissors. All I basically did was cut this bottom piece off so I create a straight flat surface. And I'm going to go in on the side here, and I'm just going to cut a zigzag, just like that. And then I'm going to cut another zigzag line right next to it. So it just looks like my tombstone has a crack in it. So I did one there, and then one on the bottom, and then one on this side. And you're going to want to do that to, I mean, you don't have to, but I did do it to both sides of my lollipop holder. Oh, let me go in, cut this bottom tab off. I have a couple treat items that I'm putting in the show this year. We're going to be making Twizzler licorice witch brooms in an upcoming video. And I haven't, probably the next things are going to be some Christmas items. I'm definitely going to do some cocoa packs. Those are hot sellers. Okay, so once I have my cracks done, I went in with my black soot, and I'm just going to ink up the edges. And then I also folded the cracks a little and inked the edges of that, just to kind of bring out the cracks a little more. Just if you fold them, just bend them, so because you don't want to crease your paper in the middle there. And right here. This week has been, I hope y'all are having a really great weekend. Mine has been very nice, very relaxing. We went out to Red Lobster, and we have not been to that restaurant in years, with some friends, and that was really nice. And today I get to be in my craft room doing what I love and getting caught up on my videos, because I know I am behind on my Halloween videos, but no worries. I will be right after this one doing my next one, and hopefully getting them both on and getting caught up. This week's been crazy, to say the least, at work. It's our second week back at school with the kids this past week, and just getting them kind of acclimated into going into school and not being on summer vacation has been a challenge, but it's going really well. Usually the first 2 weeks are very tiring to everyone. Even the kids are tired, you know. But then you get in the swing of things and start getting used to it, and it gets a lot better. Okay, so we're going to glue those on the front. And I just stayed a little bit away from the edge on the bottom. So now what we're going to do is flip them over this way. And you're going to glue the 2 tabs together. But you do not want to overlap this tab past this line here. Let me get a piece of paper. I'm going to line up right to the edge there. And I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to add some glue to this tab. And then I'm going to place the other tab right on top. And as you can see, this edge here is just going to touch that white cardstock there. Not going to go past it. Because you want to have a wide enough area for this wide lollipop to fit in there. And that way when you pull this together, it won't bow on the bottom too much. If you have a skinny lollipop, like a flatter one, you may want to just cut these 2 tabs off and overlap these pieces together. You know, just these 2 here, if you cut the tabs. And then that way, it won't be too wide that your lollipop will fall out. Okay, so you want to make sure those are good and lined up. And then I bring my 2 top pieces together. I'm going to get out my hole punch and punch a hole just like I would for a tag. Open it back up. I'm going to place my lollipop on top. Now you could put a little piece of repositionable double-sided tape down here and then stick your lollipop on top, just to make sure it doesn't slide out the bottom, but I didn't have any of that, so I'm just going to place it here. And I have my 1/4 inch ribbon. I'm going to put it through this first hole here, around this side of my lollipop into the second hole in the back. Then I'm going to come up and over this back tombstone piece on the other side, opposite side of the lollipop stick, and I'm going to go back in through the front first hole, and that way it holds your lollipop stick in position and that piece won't slide out. Just cut off my ribbon. And I'm going to flatten it and tie a bow. I'm going to try to tie a bow. Okay, and when you tie your bow, you want to make sure your tombstones are lined up with each other so it doesn't look wonky. Now, one of the things I am going to do is I'm going to glue the sides, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm putting these all together in a basket, and people are going to be handling them, and when they do, I don't want this lollipop to just poke out and slide out, because it could come right out of here since I don't have that repositionable tape. So I'm going to hot glue the sides, but I'm going to do it at the same time, and that way it won't get warped in the front or wonky in the front. Wonky's like my word today. I don't know what's up with me, but okay, so I tied my bow, and that's going to secure the stick up top. But like I said, I want to secure this bottom here so this doesn't come out when a lot of people, different people handle them to look at them. So I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue to this back piece here in the corner and the back piece corner here. And I'm going to press them together, line them up, and press them together at the same time. Just hold them for a second. If you do them at the same time, it just enables this to stay nice and flat in the front. I tried gluing one end and then another, and it got really bent here in the middle for some reason. So that's why I suggest kind of pinching them at the same exact time. Okay, and that just makes it a little more secure so this isn't going to slide out on you. And then I'm going to just take my image and I'm just going to put it on the front. Right about there. And that's it, guys. That's how I created these cute little lollipop treat holders. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you give this a try, I really hope you have fun making yours. Take care and happy crafting.